I'm Kimberly Garth, and welcome to Petals Bloom channel, which is focused on helping single Christian women blossom in their single years. So in this video, I will answer the question, are you still single because it is the will of God, or did you make certain decisions that caused it? For years, I held the view that it was the will of God that I remained single until I read the book, The Unrealistic Guide to Choosing Your Soul Mate. And then my eyes were open and I realized, well, maybe I made some choices and held certain attitudes that caused me to remain single. So therefore, you can check out the rest of the video and see if you can identify with some of them. And before I continue, click that subscribe button. So here are 5 truths why you might be still single. Truth 1, choosing the wrong guy. You might be wasting or have wasted many years on the wrong guy. There are 3 types I'm going to focus on today. 1, he's an unbeliever. The Bible warns us not to bond together with unbelievers. In 2 Corinthians 6:14 it says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, for what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness? And also in Amos 3:3 it says, how could 2 walk together unless they agree? So you might be thinking, by staying with him, you can bring him to Christ. This may seem like a wonderful idea, but actually, God does not need your help. As a matter of fact, your disobedience can delay the process of him coming to Christ. Now, why should he want the God that you say that you love, and yet you are willing to disobey that same God? In essence, the longer you stay in this situation, the more time you are wasting. So the wrong guy, type 2. He's a Christian, but he's very unhealthy. Now, I was in a relationship in my 20s for like 5 years. Now, what was I thinking? I clearly wasn't thinking too straight. So, although there were obvious warning signs, I was not willing to give up that relationship. I was already with him for so long, and I had plans to marry him, and I was not about to give up that relationship. But the wedding was a moving target. It was just not happening. So my choice to remain longer than I should have had resulted in me not meeting more suitable young men during that time of my life. The fact is, the younger you are, the pool of eligible available bachelors is larger. The older you get, that pool gets smaller and smaller and smaller because they get taken. So, staying in an unhealthy relationship is not good. 3, the third type of guy. You're with a guy that you don't see yourself marrying. Right now, he's just filling a void. You know, someone to go to the movies, someone to go to family events with. So when someone asks you, no one will ask you, so when are you going to meet a nice young man and settle down, because you have someone right at your side. So he may not be a bad guy, but he's just not the one for you. He's the wrong one for you. So the thing is, you just have to just set that guy free so that you and him can meet your complementary fits. So it's not good to be using a brother just because you are alone. So the truth too is you're not meeting eligible bachelors. Now, I was there. In my life, at that point in time, I was only around single Christian women, single men who were much younger. Then in my free time, I would be my family, my close married friends, and my single female friends. So how was I going to meet anyone? So if you're in a similar situation, how are you going to meet someone? You may be a lovely person, but if no wonderful man has the opportunity to know you, like you, and trust you, then your chances of getting married are very, very slim. And you might be saying, well, nothing is impossible with God. Something might happen. But the fact is, God has arranged systems by which the universe operates. For instance, gravity. If you decide to fall out or throw yourself off a 20-story building, no matter how much you pray, you will be falling and you will meet Jesus very soon. So the fact is, you need to meet other men, eligible Christian men. So the third one is an unrealistic ideal mate list. Now, I didn't think my list was very ridiculous, but one thing that was my desire to marry someone who is in full-time Christian ministry. I wasn't interested in any other man because I felt that maybe they were materialistic and worldly, and that was a lie. There are lots of good men with common interests and beliefs, and we could have, had a good relationship. So what categories of men have you decided that you cannot marry and this has limited you? So for instance, it might be same field of work, you want to marry someone in, same a particular nationality, he must have a certain level of income, a certain level of education. Now, ladies, a successful marriage is based more on values and character rather than things that are temporary. If he has the character, then you could possibly have a good marriage. So on what are you basing your views and your criteria for marriage? Truth 4, unfriendliness toward men. I was very guilty. My husband told me that when he attempted to talk with me 5 years before we got together, I had a Jesus wall. He said that it seemed like I only wanted Jesus in my life. And also at that time, I was really very shy with men that I was attracted to. So my shyness came across as being unfriendly. But also, whenever I was among strangers, I had like a beast face. I don't think men would have felt comfortable or encouraged to approach me during those times. So ladies, what kind of vibes do you give out? Do you come across as haughty, aggressive, unfriendly, or disinterested? And the best way to know this is asking feedback from your, relatives too, but friends even more so. Truth number 5, you are simply the wrong woman. Men are not always the problem. Some of us women are very messed up, even as Christians. We are our own worst enemies. So do you come across as desperate, overly needy, and that you place unrealistic expectations and burdens on men? Are you insecure and jealous? Are you always complaining? Are you controlling? Are you always negative? Now, these things will repel good men. So examine yourself and seek even a trusted counsel if you need help. Now, after my 5-year relationship, I had some rejection issues, which caused me to not want to allow myself to be open, to be loved again. So you want to read the entire article? Click on the link in the description box, and also try my single and content self-assessment to see where you're at. Because, to be honest, marriage is not for everyone. You might be quite happy being single. So let us face the truth, ladies, and take some time to see if we are responsible, or if you are responsible for remaining single. It may not necessarily be the will of God. However, all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his will. And that's a promise that we have. And God is just so gracious and merciful. For instance, during my single years, I really grew to love Jesus. Jesus and I became tight. And also, because of my experience, I can now have my blog, and a channel to help single Christian women navigate during that time. So comment below and share what you think might have extended your period of singleness. And you can also ask me questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified of my other videos. So thank you so much for watching, and check out the rest of my coming videos in the future. Thank you so much. Bye.